At some point, we say maybe we're not well-braced, we're not good enough, we don't have the best of technocrats. But on the other side, we're also scared of the hackers within the very own entity of the country. So what does this really clearly tell, or what kind of picture does it paint? We have proper understanding, or we do not have proper understanding, or what exactly is there in between?
I think we are scared of what technology can do.
Okay.
Yeah, because all these hackers that we have, that are hacking banks, hacking KRA, that kind of thing. All these people, they're young people that are born and bred in Kenya.
Right.
They've gone through colleges in Kenya, It's not like it's some random dude from a different country coming in. So it means we have access to, technology and at a very advanced level.
Yes.
So instead of getting afraid of what it can do, I think it's time for us as a country to embrace all these young people that are techie,
Right.
and probably provide a guideline on how to use this tech responsibly.
Right.
Because yes, you can be an hacker ethically, still make your millions. You don't have to do it illegally or that kind of thing. And then also another question is, when you get somebody who's illegally acquired information or illegally made money from technology, what do we do about these people?
Right.
Where do they go? How, the young man who stole, was it 400 million?
Yes.
What did we do about him after that, Was it just a story of, tag and bag, take him to a prison and forget? No, he's a brilliant mind.
He's a brilliant mind, so we should tap into that.
We probably should, honestly speaking.
Yeah, true to
We
it.
probably
We need to get it right from the word go. Well, I think I'm laughing at that because then it sort of makes sense, because you don't want to just have this brain rotting in jail. I mean, we barely have many of those, so why should we just let this guy be thrown into jail? But like he puts it, I think we need to get it right from the word go. Because yes, we might have our kids being introduced to technology, but maybe we are introducing them not in the right way. And, the impact of excessive use of technology on our youngsters today, we've seen negative impacts hugely. We've seen most of them going out there to kill themselves, depression and everything, just because they cannot keep up with the world. So how do we get it right at that bottom level, so that even when we're crafting the policies, even when we're crafting things, even when we decide that, yes, we're going to channel this amount of money to that, then we do not end up, of course, experiencing more failure than success?
I think to get on the right track on that, and the first thing we should do is to have a conversation about what we can do with technology. For example, when you look at youth and how they are using technology today, the most common technology that we come into contact with every day that is global and that is accepted in our country is the social media. But how are our youth using social media? We are not using social media in a way that we are advancing ourselves, maybe economically. Maybe we are connecting with friends and family and with the world. But how are youth making use of something like social media to, for example, make an income? I'm in a background where I do inbound marketing, and social media is one of the best platforms to do marketing. But you'll hear you say there is no employment in this country. Yes, there is no employment. But are we taking advantage of these opportunities that are being driven by technology? Are we using social media to maybe sell goods and services through it? Or are we just using social media to post vacations and get into depressions and stress? Also, look at the internet and how the advancement of internet in this country. We've gotten to a point that most users of the internet today are gabblers, and the gabblers are the youth. So we have technology. It is being misused, but the same technology that is being misused has the potential to turn things to the better side in this country. And what you asked about the ethics and the growing in technology and ensuring that we don't use technology in the wrong way, I think the most fundamental thing is to introduce technology to, for example, the kids at an early age. For example, when you look at the Silicon Valley, the kids in San Francisco are introduced to technology at a very early age. So they start making games, they start coding, by the time they are of age, they make great inventions. So we should introduce children to technology. We should not fear that it will impact them negatively. We should have the courage to say we will introduce them in time so that we can compete with the world. Like Ian said, that technology has no boundaries. When we started, I said that at Intercloud we make software for Africa. I didn't say for Kenya, because we don't regard the colonial boundaries. I call them the colonial boundaries because they were put in place by colonials. We don't regard them as inhibitors to expanding to throughout the continent.
Right.
So we have to have this conversation and see how we can adopt technology for the good, because technology, I believe, has more goods to offer than the bads.
All right. Well, good note that one. And creative introduction to technology is what probably we lack today. Our youths are struggling with transitional, issues from this stage to the other and everything. Most of the times you find that our parents are absent. When you look to the question of technology, then you realize there's that generational gap also. Most of the oldies are not so much into technology. So in the programs that you people conduct, what key things have you incorporated towards ensuring that there's that proper introduction, creative introduction into the world of technology? Of course, ruling out the fact that we can just wake up and say, boom, let's just have them have a phone. The culture shock, dealing with that, realizing that actually the phone is not about the games that are there, not about, sort of you talking to people, but equally something that can be used to, generate revenue, something that can be used to keep your mind busy, something that can be used for you to come up with great innovation. So what are these programs that have been put aboard to ensure that we get to balance this and gel in these kids or gel in these youths into technology in a smooth way and a successful way, for that matter?
Thank you. And I think before I can respond to your question,
Yes.
it will be prudent of me also to note that I think Wachira shied away from telling you is also a professional lacquer.
Oh.
He might have shied away from telling
Are you in agreement? It's okay.
Ethical,
Why am I scared with my gadgets right now?
Sometimes he shies away from telling
Oh,
people
really?
that.
No wonder he decided that he stays right next to me. So by now, he must be knowing everything that is inside my phone. Isn't it?
You got to be very careful.
Because so amazing.
It's okay, don't worry, even if it's national television. I mean, you worked your way to that, so it's your way of living. But anyway, I hope you don't practice it as much, and as much as it's ethical. Is there anything like ethical hacking?
Yeah.
It is there. We need to talk about that.
I think we can discuss
Yes.
about that. But I think that side and done. Also, we need to get some statistics correct and data. Because essentially, if you put a policy in place which is not data-driven, I can tell you this, and you can take this to the nearest M-Pesa agent. It will not succeed. I'm telling you for free. You know why? Let me give you an example. These guys running National Youth Council, they are all my good friends and everything. And you know the National Youth Policy.
Yes.
But I can tell you from where I'm sitting and from the research we have done on the ground, that policy is so abstract. It's not data-driven. Whereby, I'll go to my local village in Kivani, in Makueni, open a youth empowerment center, give them 10 million. But will I make follow-up to know how that 10 million is used?
Return for your investment.
I'm telling you, what was the social impact?
Right.
What was the effect? That's it and done. Some figures are essential.
Right.
In 2017, a research was done by the Bill Gates Foundation.
Okay.
The average age in Africa is 19.5 years. In Japan, it is 45 years.
Wow.
In Germany, it is 46
Okay.
years. You have a smartphone, you can confirm
Yeah,
this
we'll
number.
confirm that one. I will certainly
For free, I'm
confirm
telling you
that.
for free.
Yes.
So,
What does
that one
speak?
tell you?
Yes.
This discussion, I'm trying to bring that cognitive part of this discussion so that we just don't dwell on the intellectual part.
Yes.
Essentially, us having an average age of young people of 19.5,
yes.
it tells you we have dynamic,
Right.
energetic, motivated, and spiritually what? Pregnant people. I'm sorry to use this.
Okay.
In terms,
Okay.
what this means is that whenever these young people are given the right forum, things can
Well,
change.
Yes. Do we have that?
Do you know Fred Swanika? He's the founder of Africa Leadership Academy.
Yes.
You can Google this. Every year, the academy gives $2 million US dollars to technology and research, artificial intelligence. Probably he knows you. Do you know Fred Masiyiwa, Steve Masiyiwa? He started something we call the Mazida Hub. It is in Zimbabwe and it is
yeah.
Botswana. Do you know what they do? They introduce young people to coding at a very early age. Every year, they graduate 1,000 students. They are starting it in Nigeria, and probably I'm told they want to start in Ghana. Let's now come locally. What are we doing? What is the government doing with regards to providing the policy framework? Before I can come to what as an organization we are doing. I can say I don't want to sound very pessimistic because that will be foolish of me, and I will be hypocritical to do so. There is something we call the public-private partnership, and I can tell you it is transforming societies, and it's transforming the young people. What are they doing? If I can pose another rather sarcastic question to you. Today, we have these ICT hubs, IHubs. Are they public or are they private?
Private.
Like
Private.
private.
They are very private.
Yes.
They are very private.
Are they private or we're just not privy to this
They
information?
are private.
They're private.
They are private.